Hey guys, Crypto Sunday and a happy new year 2023. Let's hope it's a bit better than last year. Similar to stocks yesterday, the crypto hasn't done a huge amount, down about 3,000 for the week. So, yeah, let's have a bit of a review of the year, I guess. So, I would say it's obviously been a bad year price wise, but I have sort of been helped a little by sort of staying, as you can see, around about 65% Bitcoin for most of the year or the whole year. I sold some early last year in the sort of run up, and yeah, didn't really want to sell any sort of beyond there. Obviously, thought we were going to be going a bit higher. We were all sort of expecting diminishing returns. So looking on the logarithmic chart on all time sort of always gives you a better idea of how the cycles go. This sort of gives you in sort of percentage terms rather than just a linear scale. So if you take log scale off, obviously the 2013 bull run looks very insignificant, and even the 2017 one sort of kind of does. So we always like to look at it in logarithmic scale with sort of growth, exponential growth stuff like this. So yeah, you sort of see the cycles, if you like, are sort of getting shallower. So diminishing returns. Everyone sort of expected diminishing returns, but I think people still probably were hoping for, including me, $100,000, and that was my sort of going to be my get out. I was going to start selling a lot more around sort of 70,000 up to 100,000, and we stopped just shy of 70,000, which was unfortunate in 2021. And then we've had 2022 not gone particularly well. So sort of continuous lower highs and lower lows, although it was quite a bottom in June with all the lunar stuff, and yeah, then all the FTX stuff in November, which we were kind of hoping we'd sort of seen the last of shady dealings, but yeah, then we had all this, and surprised that we still haven't sort of dropped below the sort of FTX lows of 15 and a half, but everyone's sort of expecting it in the first quarter of next year, but we'll see. We did have the sort of stagnating, similar to what we've got now back in the 2018 bottom. Everyone's sort of thinking that must be it. If it refuses to go lower, we must have bottomed. I was thinking the same, sort of buying altcoins, and then we did have a large drop at the end of November. So a lot of people thinking we could get that again. People are saying obviously drop to $10,000, $8,000, $5,000. You're getting all the I'll be loading up the truck at $5,000, but you were getting the same thing back when it dropped in 2018. It went down from 6,000 to 3,000. People were saying, I'll be a huge buyer at 2, I'll be a huge buyer at 1. It never happened. Presumably they either never bought or bought on the way up again. And yeah, that's not really my sort of thing. So I have been buying on the way down, and I do have a load more, probably another $5,000 at least to put in, but I'm just not doing that quite yet. I will see what happens in the first quarter, but yeah, obviously lessons to be learnt. We should have anticipated the diminishing returns, which a lot of people did say, but we didn't want to believe it. So that's a shame. So it's a bit better to show you my portfolio on coin market cap. This doesn't show the actual holdings, but this shows all the coins, and obviously because I bought my coins at very, very different times. Some of them are extremely green, some of them are very, very red. So I thought put them on coin market cap, and that can sort of give you a better idea of how they've done, and so you can sort of put the year to date, sort by year to date percentage, and it sort of gives you a bit of a better idea. So Quant, sort of a more recent buy, has actually done the best of them all, only down 41%. XRP still sort of in a very strange place with the lawsuit, is sort of second best. And then Bitcoin, which is obviously my largest holding at about 65% holding, is down 65% for the year. Ethereum not too far behind, 68%. People sort of surprised that that's held up this well. And then obviously you start with the altcoins being more of a amplified move on the way down. So Power Ledger actually sort of a small cap number 281 now, down 72%. I do like that. I think it's got a lot of potential use. Chainlink 73%, and then you start getting into the sort of much bigger ones. Cardano 82%, ICP, which I don't hold at the moment. Very much keen to be sort of getting back into that. I think probably next week, once the month's tax loss harvesting has run out. But that's down 85%. Basic Attention Token 86%. Crypto.com I have got rid of, but I just thought I would highlight that that's done sort of worse than the majority of my holdings. Probably wasn't even worth getting the card. Audius 92%. I think that's probably links to Solana not helping it there, as well as sort of tokenomics and inflation issues. And then Solana itself, not been a good hold. One of my sort of biggest altcoins that I've put the most money into, and that's down 94%. So maybe lessons to be learnt there, but I still think it's got a potential future. Also, I should mention, I don't hold, I sort of have, I've put 430 Solana. I do hold about 160 in the wallet, and the rest is all in NFTs. And nice thing about holding those, people seem to sort of apply a dollar amount to them more than a Solana amount. So the ones that sort of have a real use case, sort of a promising game, or one of the recent ones that I got into is sort of a token for a real poker site, and they sort of, you can get an income from a sort of share of their income from the poker site for the NFT. Those are appreciating in Solana terms. So I guess if people are willing to pay, $50 for the NFT, Solana goes down, people will buy more Solana and buy the NFT still for $50. So I'm actually up. If I were to sort of in theory liquidate all of my NFTs, I think I would end up with a lot more than 430 Solana. So not necessarily 82% down, still a lot down obviously, but could be more like sort of 60 or 70% with that with those NFTs appreciating. So that's quite good. Some of them sort of provide a bit of staking income and that sort of thing, but yeah, we'll see where it goes. I'm still keen and still watching them. Probably spend a little bit too much time on NFTs, really, considering the sort of position size compared to the bigger ones. But yeah, there you go. And Gala, of course. I haven't seen this 96% loss because I only started buying at sort of 2.5 cents or 2.5 pence, I think. And yeah, it was nearly sort of 70p at the highs. But yeah, that's not been doing well. See my video on them. Sort of expected to continue dropping until the market starts going up, because they are sort of constantly selling tokens. So yeah, that's sort of fairly obvious. So if you've sort of seen past cycles before, altcoins would do worse in a bear market, and Bitcoin sort of holds up reasonably well, with a couple of sort of outliers doing slightly better. But it's a bit arbitrary to sort of take January the 1st as as a fixed date. Any coin could sort of, you know, have had a crash just before then, and wouldn't necessarily be down on the year to date, but could still be down tremendously from peak. And just a minor one news item I thought was interesting. A lot of the mainstream media seem to be sort of twisting the news, really, including Peter Schiff has been sort of a gold bug and long sort of criticizer of crypto and especially Bitcoin, and he's highlighting that MicroStrategy and Michael Saylor have sold Bitcoin for the first time. But I mean, even in the article, he sort of say, MicroStrategy's sale of 700 Bitcoin for tax relief makes a departure from its hodling strategy, and raises questions and that sort of thing. But then they do highlight sort of later on in the article, assuming most people aren't going to read quite this far, the company bought 2,395 on December the 22nd, and then further down, they're saying that they sold 804 in December 2022, only to buy 810 back a few days later. So reminding you that it is tax loss harvesting. The US, I believe, don't have the wash sale rule that we do in the UK, so they're allowed to sell some, realise a tax loss, which helps them, and then buy it straight back a few days later. So they're not selling Bitcoin, and sort of not hodling it anymore. They're selling it and buying it straight back. Obviously, technically they are selling it, but you really can't see this as selling Bitcoin, as the headline says. And all the other headlines seem to be, going the same way on this. I'm sure they understand that this is just tax loss harvesting and buying it straight back again, but they're all going with the MicroStrategy sells Bitcoin, this is terrible news, blah, blah, blah. So that's a bit of a shame. It seems like biased media to me, but who knows? So yeah, that's sort of portfolio for the week. A bit quiet on the portfolio. Still waiting to deploy my cash. Drop your comments whether you think now is the time or not, or maybe sort of wait and see what comes in the next month or two. Still sort of effects coming from FTX and Solana sort of taking another hit. Thought we were sort of getting towards the bottom, and I was wrong. So we're below sort of $10 now on Solana. Went sort of even lower than that. I think it went to $8. So yeah, still sort of wanting to put more into that, seeing this as just price action really. Network seems fine, other than sort of a couple of projects moving, which don't really bother me. DGods was sort of, if you see that, was basically just a sort of profile picture project, sort of an exclusive club type project, rather than sort of anything real that I would see. I sort of prefer games and music and sort of, or the poker one, something with a real use case really, rather than just sort of the exclusive club type NFTs. So yeah, I say good riddance to them, and Solana hopefully will move on. So it's on the buy list. But yeah, like and subscribe, and see you soon.